Good afternoon. Welcome to the launch of the 2017 Women's Football Activities. We have just completed a highly successful women's football coaching course, which was attended by 27 coaches. We will immediately put the coaches to work along with last year's coaches in the Players Combine that will be held this Saturday, February 4th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We have BFA President, Mr. Mark Reid, Maurice Lowe, BFA Technical Development Director, Women's National Coach, Nikita Robinson, and my coach, Sharice Bean, here at the panel, as well as Leslie Cherry, Shelley Lehman, Dominique Richardson, Terry Lynn Painter, Ebony Burgess, Tesnay Fabler, Taya Lindo, Micah Porn, Danny Watson, Lindsay Pacheco, Emily Cabral, and Koa Gochal are all here today to help promote the game of women's football. Who will help us launch Live Your Girls campaign that will highlight women in football. Today, I'm going to ask Mr. Reid to give a few words.
Welcome, everybody. It's exciting times for women's football. It's a long way away from what used to be in that my first job was actually coaching women. Women's football definitely, hi Terry. Women's football definitely holds a special place for me, being that it was my first job as a coach. So definitely exciting to see where we are today, and we're definitely looking for the game to grow. Really excited, and we're hoping that the combine goes extremely well on Saturday.
Maurice Lowe.
I think the women's game is the fastest moving game in world sports today, and we're excited to, have Bermuda contribute to that fast movement of women's football. And we're looking to go from strength to strength and grow women's football and the passion that we have for women living the girls and that girls can play too. So we're really excited to launch this youth league and look forward to hearing lots of other developments from us as it relates to women's football.
Good afternoon. Before I begin speaking on the combine, I kind of have to speak to some of the individuals in the room. Some of you may not know some things, like, for instance, Miss Leslie White, who was Leslie Cherry, gave us our first international or our first college showcase back in, I won't tell you, but where there was Gettysburg, Messiah College, and Connecticut College, and we played out at BAA, and that's actually where I was seen, and I was taken and given the opportunity to play through college, so I would like to thank her. I've had the privilege of playing alongside almost everyone and then coaching the rest. The combine is set up so that we can continue to grow the game in Bermuda. It has fallen off. There's no secret that it has fallen off a bit, but there are so many young ladies out there now that's eager to play and looking forward to playing. And it's based on the successes that our senior girls have had, as well as our most recent success with the U15. So they're looking to play, they want to play, and it's given us a chance to build this game back up, with our girls advancing out of certain rounds, especially now that we bypass the first round, so to speak. We get through that with relative ease, and the second round, we're getting better and better. So our goal is to make it into the CONCACAF, by, like the boys did this year. And so that's what this combine and this is about, getting as many girls out to play the game and to fall in love with the game and to commit to us as a sport.
So the Women's Youth League will start February 11, 2017, and the Seniors Women's League will start up again in spring of 2017. We anticipate building the success of Girls Play 2 and Women's League initiatives last year. In addition, we look forward to our U17, U20, and senior women doing well in the World Cup qualifiers this summer. Having sustainable youth and senior leagues will ensure the upward trajectory of our women's national football team continuation. Thank you for being here today, and I just want to bring in that if you look up here at the panel, we have we were actually teammates on the same team. So now we're here to promote the game, and I too played with the older ladies in the room, the more mature ladies in the room. And for all three of us, actually, football has helped us in getting education and even in our careers where we are today.
The combine will consist of 16 teams initially. There will be an assessment process. Once the assessment process is done, the teams will be then split equally, and that 16 teams will turn into 8 teams. And so each week they will come and they will play 2 matches, and a tournament of some kind at the end. I'm sorry, I was just giving you time to write. I knew it's your job, but
Are we talking about how many aside?
they're talking about 5 aside. The actual combine will be 4 aside, so that the assessment process can be smoother for the coaches, and then the actual league will be 5 aside. So we'll be looking to have 4 players and a keeper.
And you're looking to do this here. What days of the week are you talking about?
Saturdays. It's a process, and it's pretty much worked out. But of course, there's going to be trials and tribulations throughout it. But I think that it's something that can be sustainable, and something that can work. Again, we battle with the ballets and the other sports as well. But I think that the more numbers we have, then the better it is, and the chances of us having a sustainable league, so that as they grow older, that league can continue, and then we won't, be faced with what we've been faced with in the past. So that's definitely our goal, is to get 16 teams, first of all, have enough players for that on Saturday, and then having enough to have 8 teams. So we need a minimum of 80 girls, because the teams will have it'll be a 10-team roster, and so so that the league can run efficiently.
It's 2 aims for the senior league. One is to help with preparations for the senior competitions that are coming in the region later in the year, but also again to give an opportunity for some of the players that are overseas and then some of the players that are locally, so that they can express themselves and play football. So I have heard some sad stories about females that have attended college and returned back home to Bermuda and don't have a league within which that they can play football, and they love the game as well. So part of the reason for the league is preparation for the competitions, but another one is just so that players can express themselves in the game that we love.
I wouldn't say a long time. Live Your Girls is actually a campaign that FIFA has spread throughout the world, and we have embraced it here. In terms of leadership, in a lot of ways, Bermuda is ahead of our compatriots in our region. For example, we are the only country that has a women's head coach as a woman, which is fantastic for us. So, we're just looking to continue the improvement and continue the growth of women's football.
Well, it is the launch of the Live Your Girls. Hearing the message and what you guys have accomplished over the years playing football, it must be a joy that you now see something really getting started and the association heading in the right direction, especially for young women in football.
Definitely. It's very good to see the young ladies getting the opportunities that a lot of us didn't have. Few of us did. But it's nice to see the Bermuda Football Association embracing women in football, and hopefully these young ladies could take it to the next level. I got a lot to live up to, because if we had had the opportunities, I think we would have went to that level.
Do you guys plan to hang around and share the stories and the messages and the struggles that you guys had to ensure that both the association and the young girls understand what the challenge is going to be facing them, for Bermuda?
Sure. I mean, I would love to give back to football with the experiences that I gained both locally and at university. I didn't go away to play football at university, but I ended up playing university. I actually went away to swim. So I would love to give back. The time right now is not great, but I'm giving back just by coaching the football teams at school. And one day we'll come back and help Keita out. She was a deadly left footer when we played back in the day.
you've been afforded a lot in a young age of playing football. You've traveled with the national teams. But what does football for you bring out the best of you? What does football do for you?
It gives me the opportunity to play with other people from different teams and older ages, and gets me to cope and get to know other people. Yeah.
Does football for you build self-confidence?
Yes, to speak to other people even though they're older than me, to give out good directions and things like that.
Now, you played, obviously, you were younger, playing up at the national level. What was that experience like for you, being one of the youngest, if not the youngest, in the tournament that you played in? And what are some of the things that you take from that?
It was scary, I have to say, because there was a lot of older people. But I did learn to have confidence and just to be who I am, and they will accept you.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Micah, you come into the room and you see your picture as one of the poster childs for the women, the Live Your Girls. How does that make you feel, knowing that you are one of the faces of the program for Bermuda?
Well, I feel very honored that I got chosen for this opportunity, and I'll just do my best to do what I'm doing.
Now, you guys train a lot. You train several times a week. What are some of the things that you guys have been working on that you can relate to and help the youngsters who are behind you to come and achieve some of the things you guys have achieved at a young age?
Well, for my role, I play center back, so mainly I just guide the team, keep everything in order, take the instructions from my goalkeeper, and, I would just encourage them to step out of the shell, be firm and confident on the back.
Launched the Live Your Girls. It's designed for women in football, youngsters and people that love the sport. But you were one of you started women's football in Bermuda. Seeing something like this get off the ground must bring joy to your heart that we're still looking to create opportunities for youngsters?
Yes, I'm glad to see it coming back to light, because like I say, in the last 10 years or so, it seems like we started to drift away. So I'm glad to see that the women's committee, the BFA, Shaquita and Sharice and with FIFA joining in to help us to bring back women's football in Bermuda, because I feel that we're not where we should be like any other country or state in the world when it comes to women's football.
Now, you can remember back when it all started and then the struggles you had. What are some of the lasting memories you have from when it started to where it is today?
My lasting memories was our Friday night games. We used to have our Friday night games at Devon Chirac, and the hill was packed. And it was very family orientated, and the women that played at that present time, you could tell that they enjoyed the game. They loved it. It was fun. We look forward to it. We really look forward to it, and it's a mess. I know there's more growing pains. There's more to add, but I'm hoping in the next 10 years we could see it where it was when we first started.
Now, when you started, some of the first lot to actually graduate from it or go on for careers, who were some of those ones that were fresh to go?
Our first ones when it came to scholarships was Nikita Deal Robertson, Erica Russell, and Maria Smith. That was our first 3 female scholarships when it came to football in Bermuda for the women.
Now you see an abundance of these youngsters getting the opportunity. So when that started for you, did you envision it being as many girls getting scholarships in football throughout the U.S.?
Yes, to be honest, I have been very concerned when it came to women in general, because I felt that we were not hosting the All-Star Games and putting the education side and our students getting scholarship enough like they did 20 years ago. I remember 20 years ago, we used to have at least 15 to 20 college scouts coming here, and to see it dwindle, and I'm hoping that it will go back to where it was, because we have the talent here. We have the talent here. And how I actually started women's football, I was working with my uncle Gary Darrow at the time he was the national football coach, and I used to help out in calling the teams and having water and the the B-ups and everything, and the team wanted me to travel with them, but at the present time, the BFA didn't allow it. And I ran home and I had a talk with my father. I was working at Whitney Institute at the time, and I had talked to Donald Dick Dam, and him and my father were the ones, and my Uncle Gary, to inspire me to start it. So when I did start, was at Whitney Institute with Real Girls International.
Okay, Nikita, this adds to your plate of challenges for women's football, but something that you really, really aspire to do and enjoy doing. I see you out there all the time, but what are you hoping that this will help do for the sport of football for Bermuda?
Well, I've never hid my disappointment in the fact that our women's program fell off the wayside. But I studied and understood why it fell off. Okay, there were a number of factors. There were top-heavy teams, no matter how we tried to go about doing it. And the reason for the top-heaviness is that we didn't have enough technically gifted players throughout the island. And so what now has to happen, or will happen, is that we'll have a number of players that will be receiving technical skills. So the teams should be a lot more balanced. Because it's true, you don't want to show up every week knowing that when I was playing for Rude Girls, it was like, how much you can beat us today, guys? And, you know, it becomes a bit distressing. It becomes a bit boring. Because you're like, you only look to show up and play against the teams that you can compete with. And so that's the idea behind it, to make sure that the teams are balanced so that every week the girls will show up and be looking forward to the competition. You know, I lost 1-0 or 2-0. That's not too bad. But not looking up to show up and take 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, as I see often in the boys' leagues, because nobody's learning anything there. And so my hope for this is that we no longer go through a period where we have no women's football, because these guys will get older, and so they will just channel right into it. And you, as well as I know, how a pyramid works. The base is very full, and as you go up, you know, the people then they filter out and they can move on. They pick other things to do. Like I told Lawrence just now, Dominique retiring at 23 is a blow, because all the coaches and the players understood that she was the one who was going to lead us this summer. And you know, we understand it. You know, it's a personal choice and not one that we hold against her. I mean, if for some reason she has a really good dream one night and I get a call the next day and she's like, I want to come back, then, you know, the door's always going to be open. But that's the idea, so that we can have a lot of Dominique, so we can have a lot of Cheryl Bow, so we can have a lot of Jessica, so we can have a lot of Shantays. And I think that will happen. Because they'll be playing more than was afforded before. You know, you had girls who train maybe twice a week and then play. Now, you know, they're going to be playing every week, and every week is going to be competitive. And from there, the coaches can now look at the players and invite them to play more games. And so it's all about providing games and opportunities for the girls. And you know, as hard as I said it is to do, but we had to regroup and come back with a better plan, because the other one wasn't working. You know, just you know, back in the day, you'll have the team, you have about 7 or 8 really good girls, and then you'd have 4 that okay. But now, you know, now we're looking at having like a starting 11 that's really good, and then you look at your bench and it's 2 and 3 that's okay. And so at the end of the day, you know, that's what we're looking to do, is to make sure. And with the coaches taking the coaching course, you know, they come in, they start working with the girls, doing some developmental work. You know, in life, if you know the basics in life, you can get through anything. It's not rocket science. And I think we kind of got caught up with moving away from that, because we did have that very few talented players. And so it was easy to coach tactics too. And then we fell short in having the technical players. And so that's what's happening now, is that we're getting more technical players. And they're able to play the game.